Hey, Farmers Nation. I'm Kevin Hemlick, President and CEO of Farmers National Bank, and welcome to another Blue Table Talk. Today I have another special guest with us, and that's Jim Gasior. Jim is Executive Vice President and Chief Corporate Development Officer for Farmers, and he most recently held the position of Chief Executive Officer at Cortland Bank. Jim,
Correct.
welcome.
Thank you, Kevin.
Welcome to our Blue Table.
I love the blue table.
So we share the blue, right? You guys have a little different.
We do. We have
shade
very
at
similar shades and colors.
Yeah.
So a little blend of both.
Yeah.
A little dark blue, light blue.
Well, I've known you for years.
Right.
It's been a pleasure to finally get to work with you and kind of put things together for both of our companies. But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you start your career? How'd your career in banking start? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I grew up in Austintown, so almost a lifelong resident. Went to Austintown Fitch, graduated in 1978, a long time ago, many years ago. From there, I went on to Youngstown State to study accounting. Graduated in 1982 with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. And that summer, actually, I think I had a week in between when I graduated and when I took a position with then the international accounting firm of Ernst & Winning, which was one of the big 8 accounting firms. So I was assigned to the Philadelphia market and worked out of a couple of satellite offices out of Philadelphia, including Allentown, Harrisburg, and Reading. So finished my career with Ernst in 1990. Coming back, I actually transferred back into the area with the Cleveland market, working out of the Youngstown satellite office. So that was my tenure with Ernst. And then from there, took a position with Cortland Bank. I was appointed as Director of Internal Audit. And for the next 31 years, spent my career at Cortland Bank. Various positions from audit to operations to lending to finance and accounting. Then in 2009, I was appointed as President and CEO.
Wow, that's a great career, and thanks for that recap. And we've often joked that you're a resident of Canfield, and I'm not a resident of Cortland, but I grew up in Cortland, lived close to Cortland, and we would often
down Route 11, passing each other. Kevin, have a good day.
So got to know each other and really appreciated what you guys did with Cortland and the franchise, because I lived in the community and I saw how important in the legacies of the company, and then when we started talking, I said, hey, this idea of corporate development, kind of sounds intriguing, and your growth and our growth coupled together, it's probably a need for us. So, in your role of corporate development officer, how do you think about that, and just I guess for our audience?
Yeah, definitely a new role for me. I think it's a role that allows me to kind of focus on what the things that I enjoy doing, that I think I can assist Farmers Bank and some of the skills and some of the experiences I've had. So I kind of look at my primary role in corporate development as assisting you and the executive team identify opportunities to grow organically through acquisition, and obviously then to support our management team in various initiatives around operations, business development, community support, and whatever else comes along.
Yeah, that's great. No, and it's been a big help. And of course, you're on our executive team, member of our Farmers National Bank board, and we certainly have appreciated that. And you mentioned there at the end, though, the community, and I know you as a tried and true community banker like myself and a lot of us at Farmers, and of course previously with Cortland, how important community is, and tell us a little bit about some of your philanthropic endeavors, some of the boards and things that you've served on are important to you.
Yeah, so I have spent a lot of time with community development, both regionally and in the state. I think like you, Kevin, I spent some time with our trade association with the Ohio Bankers League, serving on the board of directors for the Ohio Banker League. Just rolled off of, I think it was an 8-year stint with the Ohio Foundation of Independent Colleges. The last 3 as chair of the board for Ohio Foundation of Independent Colleges. The 2 right now that I'm most excited about are my roles with Eastern Gateway Community College and with the Youngstown-Warren Regional Chamber of Commerce. So kind of taking each one of those separately. Back, I think, probably about 5 years ago, I was appointed by then Governor Kasich to the Board of Trustees for Eastern Gateway Community College. And the college has just done wonderful things since the time that I came on the board. Not that it was my doing, but we have done a lot in terms of bringing the campus down to Youngstown, downtown Youngstown. So we have both the Steubenville campus, the Youngstown campus. Both of those campuses have seen increases in in-seat enrollment. We have a online program that is one of the top online programs, not only in the state of Ohio and the nation. I think we have now over 45 students involved in the online programming. And then probably the one that is more recent, but a lot of discussion around this, is Eastern Gateway has taken a lead role in workforce development. And just probably about 4 or 5 months ago, was awarded $3.5 million by the state to support workforce development initiatives in partnership with America Makes in downtown Youngstown. Right. So lot to be said, and I'll kind of tie this into the Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber. This workforce development is such a big opportunity for the area. And I'm so glad that Eastern Gateway is part of this. The Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber, as you know, Kevin, we now have new leadership. Guy Covielli came on, I think, January of last year, has done some tremendous things. We have probably the best opportunity in generations for economic development and mega projects in the Mahoning Valley. That's obviously, a lot of that has to do with what's going on in Lordstown, with the, the automotive, the whole Voltage Valley. You had LG coming into the area with Altium. So this whole focus on electronic vehicle is really big for the area. So the workforce development tying into what's happening in the region and other economic development projects, great for the valley. Great time to be on the chamber board, as well as I also serve on the foundation board for the chamber and on the executive committee. So really enjoy both of those roles.
No, that's exciting. And, that's, as bankers and Valley businessmen, I mean, that's really important for us to stay involved. Thanks so much for your involvement in those. And we want more of that. We talked about that, at Farmers and our stakeholders. Community is so important to us, and we try to give back this way. And you've just outlined.
It's so exciting for the area to see those opportunities in front of us.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Absolutely. So last couple of things, that I'll ask you. One is, obviously you and I have had a relationship for a long time and talked about opportunities out there, and finally got these two really storied companies together. And hey, tell me, and tell our viewers what excites you about that, and what you saw in, merger, and why it was the right time for you.
So, I go back to when I was appointed by our board as president and CEO in 2009. It wasn't the best time in the tenure of Cortland Banks. We had come out of a period of time where we had some regulatory issues. We had invested in some securities that were probably not the best decisions. Our stock had dropped to a point where it was trading around $3 a share. So, the management team was restructured. I obviously came in as the new president and CEO. And really, our focus at that point was really to focus on some strategic initiatives, which from that period of time through our recent announcement allowed us to grow organically for the most part. A little different than Farmers that has had success in doing acquisitions. Cortland grew primarily through organic initiatives, focusing on commercial small business lending, talent procurement, organic growth into new markets, evaluation of new technologies, cost containment. And we took a bank that was probably around the time that I came in about $600 million, grew it to $800 million. And at the time that we announced our merger, we delivered to our shareholders a stock, and again, going back to 2009, was $3 a share, delivering a stock that was worth $28 a share. And I'm just confident that with our two organizations, the talent that we have coming from both sides, the ability to focus on both organic and acquisition strategies are going to allow us to continue to provide value to our shareholders.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. Yeah, and obviously couldn't agree more. Congratulations on all the success. How you position Cortland over the years and have been there for 31 years. That's quite an accomplishment in this day and age, right? Being there that long.
Well, going back to, some of the programs done at Ohio Bankers League, I'd walk into a session and I'd have a CEO say, how long you've been in banking? And I'd tell them how long. And They said, well, how many institutions? As you know,
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of acquisitions, a lot of consolidation in the industry. So to have the opportunity to work for one institution for 31 years has been a blessing. And a lot of people just don't have that opportunity to be able to do that today.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, Jim, thanks so much for joining us today. And once again, this is Jim Gasior, Executive Vice President of Farmers National Bank and our Chief Corporate Development Officer. Once again, congratulations on everything.
Thanks,
and
Kevin.
thanks
Glad
for
to be part of
joining.
the organization.
Great. Thanks for joining us again. And that's all for now. Another Farmers Blue Table Talk. Until next time, thanks a lot.